It is time for a best of 5 series of top-level StarCraft 2. It's time for a Protoss versus Zerg, where we find ourselves on the map with the cringiest name, as it is called, I Am Missing You Today. I hate that name. With a passion. Now, spawning right here in the bottom right-hand corner. The map itself is actually pretty good. Playing in red with the Zerg, we have none other than Rogue, and his opponent in the upper left playing in blue with the Protoss. We have none other than Hero. Now, this particular series, this best of 5, is an elimination match from the RSL. So that's an ongoing StarCraft 2 tournament where, well, Rogue is actually the sole surviving Zerg at this point in time. There are 8 players in the playoffs, or there were 8 players in the playoffs. 4 of them Protoss, 3 of them Terran, and then 1 lone Zerg. Now, this is the lower bracket, as Hero ended up getting knocked down all the way to the lower bracket by getting 3-0'd by MaxPax. MaxPax obviously a bit of a Protoss versus Protoss monster, but Hero losing 3-0 is pretty unheard of. Hero is, at least in 2026 so far, the most successful tournament player. When you look at his absolute earnings in 2026 thus far, he is far and away the #1, and also actually in the absolute number of tournaments. Hero is practically playing in everything. And he is winning, well, even the smaller online cups, left, right, and center. Rogue has been very impressive as of late, but I have been more impressed across the board by Hero. Although I will say, Hero does play this kind of wild and wacky style where in certain moments he looks very brilliant, and in others he just looks a little bit goofy, and nothing really makes a whole lot of sense. Rogue is obviously a very dangerous player. Most people will tap out rather early. That series, for example, between Solar and Clem that I recently cast comes to mind where, yeah, we just had both players stepping out and both of them seemed to be very frustrated. That is the absolute furthest from Rogue's playstyle. Rogue, generally speaking, will not tap out until he is 100% dead, and he will keep going, pretty much no matter what. And he has really impressed me. Like, Rogue is obviously part of the very exclusive $1 million club where there's only, I think, 4 StarCraft 2 players historically that have reached $1 million. So that's Serral, obviously. Then we have Maru, we have Rogue, and then we have Dark. Rogue, a previous world champion. He kind of, I guess he had to go to the military some time ago, and from that position, obviously, he couldn't play for like a year and a half, and it took him a while to get back up to a very respectable level, but he has arrived right now, and I really do consider him to be extremely good yet again. But I guess he's just been, yeah, outshined a little bit, or outshine-arenoed. He's been outshine-arenoed by players like, for example, Serral. And even Solar has been very impressive lately, honestly. I've been liking Solar's games, but I think mentally, at least, Rogue is a bit of a monster. Now, this opener here from Hero is odd. What do we have here? We've got ourselves a pylon right next to the gas geyser in the main base. Stargate attached to it, Void Ray first, no wall off right over here. Imagine literally any sort of link flood at this stage in the match. Rogue, though, is not going to take the bait. He will be going into a very quick triple hatchery opener, and even though Zergling speed is finishing up, he is not going to make a big influx of links right now. I think that's what Hero actually wants. He can't very rapidly wall himself in over here, but the problem is you kind of need a bunch of structures here now in order to take a third Nexus. Normal timing for the third Nexus is right about right now. Oh, all right. He's just planting it. He just planted it down. Are you insane? You don't have a wall off in the natural? And we're planting it down a wide open third? Void Ray, in the meantime, decides to just go straight across the map. Didn't even bother to go after the Overlord. Otto gets to survive for a little bit longer. Man, this is such a greedy build right here from Hero that I think even Rogue is a little bit flabbergasted, because Rogue saw what was going on, he saw the lack of a natural wall, and he still did not make a round of links. If he would have made a reactionary group of Zerglings, I mean, the third Nexus at the bare minimum would have died. He could have even run by into the natural in the main base and, well, probably killed like a half dozen workers or so. And this is obviously what Hero does, right? Like, Hero does play the game like an absolute maniac. This is one of those builds that I don't think you ever want to copy onto the ladder. But Hero seems to consistently... Is this open? Is this a... Okay, let's not look at it too long. Hero does play the game like a bit of a maniac sometimes, and it certainly can be a bit of an issue. So, The Twilight Council, of course, is planted down at the front lines. Rogue will see the start timing of that upgrade. Void Ray, for some reason, by the way, decided to go across the map, kill the first Overlord, but never returned for the secondary one. Does he not realize that there's another Overlord up on that pillar? I guess not. Oracles, in the meantime, have been denied quite nicely thus far. They do end up getting 3 workers now. That's pretty sweet. +1 melee here coming up for Rogue. Not the fastest +1 melee by any stretch. We don't even have a lair yet, though. So we have an extra hatch building right over here. What in the world is this, then? Lair starts up, 5.5 minutes of in-game time. But Rogue just built a macro hatchery. Very popular in StarCraft 1. Very common in Brood War, but not usually something we do in SC2. Obviously, if you plan on making mass Zergling, they're very cheap as far as minerals go, but very expensive as far as larvae. So I'm assuming maybe that's what we want to do. It's really the only thing that makes sense. Considering the fact, though, that we do not have a Baneling Nest, we do not have a Roach Warren, we don't have a fast lair here for a Hydra Den either. Rogue is, look at him, he's just double expanding right now too. I mean, this one I guess just finished up, but he is just taking another base. And even though he's going up against a very greedy Protoss, I guess the idea is to try and fight greed with greed. He just started up a Roach War, decided to cancel it and build a Baneling Nest instead. So we may end up with a situation here where Rogue is basically going Zerglings, and then more Zerglings, and then more Zerglings, and then guess what? Some Banelings as well, but also more Zerglings. Hero went for Blink first, obviously, in the Twilight Council. Even though the order in which he's building stuff is a little bit odd, the positioning of the structures is also a little weird. The end result here is actually remarkably standard. Yeah, we're gonna go Templar Archives right now, so it's Blink and then followed up with Charge. You can probably see a 4th Nexus going up in just a moment. All of this is a little bit funky. 18 additional drones here for Rogue. He is just gonna straight drone up this newly made hatch. And I guess the plan is just to get a ridiculous amount of mining going and just throw just Zerglings and Banelings at the wall. Yeah. Just get rid of all your problems by flooding Zerglings out on the map. Did he get a little bit too greedy, though? Hero killing this hatchery over here would be big. And at this point, there's really not that many Lings available. I mean, the Stalker DPS is high, and he is certainly going to be able to finish off that base. Instant recall right here from Protoss, and he's going to be able to find most of those Stalkers back home. As a matter of fact, he found all of the Stalkers back home. How in the world did Hero play this greedy, not build a wall off, go for an aggressive push like that, and still not lose a single unit? I highly doubt he's going to be able to obtain the victory, not losing a single Stalker or a single Oracle or whatever, but thus far at the very least, I guess you can call this a near-perfect game for Protoss? Then again, though, this has been reasonably passive. Large group of Lings right now in the upper right. We have double upgrades going on as well for those Lings. Burrow coming up. Hive already finishing. Considering this was a pretty late lair, the timing of the Hive is actually very rapid. One Zealot has made its way towards the bottom of the map. Banelings, though, are starting to morph in now. Rogue is going pure Ling. Like, all he has is about 100 Zerglings. Is this really the right thing to do as a Zerg player? It seems insane to me, but here we go. He does trigger all of the stasis wards very nicely. The Archons get surrounded. Banelings would really like to avoid those Archons. But at this point, Protoss just seems to be dominating the majority of the battle, but more and more Zerglings are flooding out onto the map. At this rate, though, I think Rogue is going to lose this 4th hatchery a second time over. In the meantime, we have a fleet beacon building up here for Hero. He's got a robo facility coming up as well. Wide open 4th Nexus, by the way, because apparently we do not really need to wall anything anymore. Walls have now become optional. But what we do have is very quick Adrenal Glands and an Ultralisk Cavern on the back of this too right here for Rogue. So we're gonna go effectively pure Ling with some Banelings for support, really nice upgrades for those units, and then straight into Ultralisks. I guess Rogue is a little bit disappointed that Aberrations in StarCraft 2 never made it to the ladder. But this looks like an Aberration build to me, you know? Maybe Aberrations would be a little bit too good. But yeah, there's no tier 2 melee unit for Zerg. We have tier 1. And then, of course, we have tier 3. I always kind of thought that Aberrations would be sweet, but anyhow. Skipping all of the tech, though, does allow Rogue an awful lot of upgrades here, and the question, I guess, mostly is this just kind of risky, right? Like, what if your opponent gets something like Storm out? I'm a little bit surprised Hero hasn't even bothered with it. I guess he thinks that, like, just Archons and Zealots alone are going to be able to cut it, and he may just be onto something. Rogue right now already evacuating the base, assuming that it will be, oh god, will be given up on. There's 2 openings, indeed, into the natural expansion, and Hero, with his random wall, is once more going to get punished for it. The 9+3 attack would actually be really big. There's not that many Lings available, but their damage output is big enough. Adrenal Glands are not. And the probes are still getting massacred, too. Man, no way, Hero. Don't tell me we're gonna be in a world of trouble in this game because we decided not to properly wall off. Zerglings right now slip through the cracks. The 40% attack speed of the Adrenal Glands has kicked in. In the meantime, we have the rest of the Protoss army trying to awkwardly move up the ramp. Banelings were thinking about committing there for just a moment, but that would have been a death sentence. Although I guess any sort of attack move with Banelings really is. Queens are available to transfuse the Ultralisks back up. That makes the Ultras almost immortal, assuming you do have enough energy available. Lings are just dealing so much damage. Now the majority of the ones that were on the other side of the map have come back home. So many probes have died. The 4th Nexus is gone. We have a little bit of Archon juggling happening, I guess, but this is just so much freaking Zerg. Did Hero just actually throw the game because he did not wall himself in properly? I looked at that gateway early game, and it seemed to me it was a little bit funky. Oh, man. I can't believe it, Hero. Like, this game was pretty much a gift from Rogue. I don't know if I've ever seen this before in all my years of casting StarCraft. It's a bunch of burrowed Ultralisks. It worked. In the meantime, the Lings have flooded the 3rd base right now, too. Oh, man. I can't believe this, though, here. It's one of the basics, man. Base building is not really that hard. Look, it requires a PhD in StarCraft 1, I will admit. Understanding how to build walls in Brood War, it's incredibly tough. But in StarCraft 2, you literally have a build grid. It is not that difficult. Hero may have won the most prize money in 2026 so far, but sometimes he does succumb to the most basic errors, and I wonder if this is now going to result in a massive throw. He still has a good army, but now the Ultras do have chitinous plating done, and it makes them so much better. Spore Crawlers and Queens are brought to the front lines, and at this point, the Chompers, man. The Chompers are gonna chomp. Yeah, Stalkers, Archons, they're not gonna cut it. 4 more Ultralisks are coming. They're not even remotely fully upgraded yet. There's a lot of research still to be done inside of the engineering base. The Zerg engineering base, that is. GG gets cold. It's Hero who throws game number 1. This is a tournament with a very significant prize pool. Let me actually get the exact numbers. What's the prize pool? It's 10 million Korean won, which is the equivalent of about a little over $6,500. So there's good money on the line for a match like this. Why? Why not just build the wall? I don't understand. It seems... in a weird way, right? So, I've been following StarCraft 2 for about a decade and a half. Actually, 16 years now, because this game is old. I know. Kind of crazy. Anyhow, I've been following StarCraft 2 for a really long time. And ever since, quite literally, the beta of Wings of Liberty, Protoss has had this vibe where a lot of people believe that the only way in which Protoss can be played is by cheesing. Right? And there's always been this weird sense of superiority that Zerg players and Terran players have had. It's a bit of a running joke at this point, but some people take it very seriously, and they will basically claim that Protoss players just can't play macro. At the very least, for many years in StarCraft 2, like, the Protoss units weren't good enough to play macro. You just kind of had to be a trickster in order to win literally anything. So you had guys like, for example, SOS, winning world championships by being insanely cheesy and very tricksy, but ultimately, they were still rushing and winning cups based off of tricks, right? And it worked. At least if you looked at just the tournament results, it really did work, but there is still that vibe going on. Now, with modern StarCraft 2, you don't have to win with Protoss by being a tricksy player. You can win just by being a solid macro player. And Hero making these weird, like relatively low-level mistakes with his wall-offs, while simultaneously being the most earningest StarCraft 2 player in 2026 so far, it is leaving a sour taste in many people's mouths, right? It's just something that... I mean, imagine someone like Maru, or Clem, or Serral playing Protoss. There's about a 0% chance they would ever mess up their walls. Like, they play StarCraft 2 like it's a freaking, you know, like it's an Excel spreadsheet and a house that, like, they treat it like architecture, where everything needs to be perfect before we set anything into motion. And then you have guys like Hero that are doing a little bit of Protoss yoga, and it kind of works. And he can play really clean StarCraft 2, but... then you look at the walls, and it's just so messy and unnecessary, and yeah, I think across the board, it is not a great look, even for other Protoss players out there, you know, where that general vibe that has been going on for the last decade and a half may just accidentally continue, because Hero cannot wall off. Now, we've got ourselves a Stargate opener yet again. And this time around, it's all looking a lot more normal. Map makers, of course, have been planting these little pylon indicators on maps. We are, by the way, before I forget, on the Celestial Enclave. Sorry. We've got the pylon over here, and obviously in that particular spot, you can create the perfect wall off. Now, Hero oftentimes chooses to ignore it. Third hatchery, though, here for Rogue. Planted it down in the pocket expansion. Yeah, something else that Hero does consistently is all army hotkey. You will see this all the time later on in the games, where, for example, there's like 4 observers out on the map, and then at some point all of the observers are in the same spot at the same time. Look, every pro gamer will use the all army hotkey from time to time, but Hero certainly is a fan of it. Now, what in the world is this? A 2-base fleet beacon with a second Stargate? We're doing a Tempest Rush? Okay. Pylon over here to wall things off. That means that Rogue will not be able to scout. Interesting. Drone is not going to be able to make it past. And obviously when we get to Lair, I mean, in the last game, he didn't start up a Lair until like 5.5 minutes. Now it's already finished. Overseer Scout will begin. Hydra Den? Okay. Hydra Den is not ideal for Rogue. Ideally here, you want to go Spire. Corruptors really are the best weapon of choice against this type of build, but it's a little bit odd. You will see the timing of the Lair, though, and you will know that there's likely an Overseer coming. The question is, can you really deny it? I don't think so. The Overseer, sadly here for Rogue, he did have to morph it in all the way in the upper left-hand corner of the map, so it's a bit of a fly on over towards the main base of Protoss. Okay, third Nexus starts up. Honestly, just seeing the timing here of the third Nexus is already big. There's an alternative spotter right over there, so yeah, he will know. Okay, that's all. That's all he needs to see, apparently. That's enough. This base is supposed to be done at this stage in the game. It is not finished. So whatever it is, it's something weird, it's something wacky. Rogue is prepared. Now, is she preparing for the right thing, though? Let's think about it, right? Like, what sort of choices does Protoss have on 2 bases? Well, there's many, many options, but when you've seen your opponent opening Stargate, when you know you're playing against Hero, you do see a third Nexus building, it is very likely indeed going to be something Skytossy. At least in the modern era, Skytoss just makes the most sense. So right now he's going to get confirmation. Spore Crawlers indeed were already getting in position. I'm a little bit surprised though, if Rogue is indeed calling this as... Wait, Hero. Okay, he does notice it now. If he is indeed... Oh, not again, not again, not again. If he is indeed calling this as a Tempest opener, why is he... my god, no! No, 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 no! Dude, he just took so much hull damage from a freaking Spore Crawler with the longest range unit in the game! Why is he not building Spire? Sorry, I can't finish my thought here. I'm losing my mind. Spire starts up now. Hydras in the meantime, though, are having a grand old time. At least the stasis ward will trigger and, yeah, okay, make some of them. Oh, no. No. My God, the second Tempest here. Taking so much damage. You guys outrange everything. We're gonna recall now? Oh, yeah, he's gonna lose him. He's gonna lose him, no? Okay, lucky for him, Zerg was not quite within range and Muscular Augments was not done. Yeah, in a weird way, Hero is kind of carrying the responsibility of everything Protoss on his shoulders, you know? Like, if you're the most successful player for your race, this is how people will judge Protoss. And this, if I'm being frank, is bad. Like, this is just messy. It's sloppy. Nice little bit of target firing down from Rogue. Using that final Hydralisk spine to kill that Tempest that was trying to hang off to the side. Yeah, and this right here is, for all intents and purposes, game over. What in the world are you gonna do here about it? Tempest just dying to Hydralisks, man. Like, how in the world are Tempest and Oracles here dying to... Take it off my screen! Rip off the band-aid for me, Hero! You can micro your 3 Stalkers, that's fun and all, but you're never gonna win the game with it. I'm sorry. It's not gonna happen. He's just handed this particular game on a silver platter for Rogue. I can't believe it. He just lost another Tempest to Hydralisks. These guys are the longest range weapons you have. Why are we dying with 50 probes? This is the slowest bandage peel I've ever seen, man. You gotta rip it off. It will just hurt for a second, but... my God. He just force-fueled it. Recently, by the way, Blizzard, for the very first time, decided to wake up in several years and add something new to StarCraft 2. And that's this particular portrait. It is Hero. I believe this was... I think it's to celebrate the occasion of that... what's it called? The Thunderfire tournament over in China. Basically, the new StarCraft 2 server went live in China. It was gone for a couple of years. They put it back online. And then the organizers have been putting out some big tournaments. And Hero winning the first one apparently gave him this in the game. Pretty neat. So it is his face wearing a mothership as a necklace. I mean, it's pretty cool. I'm a little jealous. There is a Lowko portrait in the game as well, but my forehead is even bigger than it is in real life, man. Like, I don't know why my forehead was drawn with like an additional inch of forehead. Like, I already have by default a bit of a 5 head. For some reason, I was drawn as a 6 head, which is okay, I guess. We'll allow it. It's pretty cool that I have it. Anyhow, never been my favorite picture. This one is cool. But my God, Hero, we gotta... We gotta tighten things up a little. Because Rogue, it kind of felt like he was basically not even trying, and he just won 2 games. Right? Like, I mean, that wasn't... He was playing Mass Zergling Baneling in the first match. Ran by because there were 2 holes in a natural wall off. And then in game number 2, we just... I can't even talk about that game, man. Like, losing Tempest to Hydralisk's Queens and Spore Crawlers? Are we having a giggle, mate? As they would say in England, I think. I don't know. Alright, next is on the low ground. Stargate opener yet again. Fair enough. Sometimes I get this vibe with Hero games that he's like simultaneously playing a round of Hearthstone on his second monitor or something. Like maybe he's playing chess. Like 10 minutes, you know, in total time, and you can kind of make a move every once in a while. Like, sometimes I feel like he's just very unfocused. Because I have seen Hero play, especially at offline events. Like, at the biggest StarCraft 2 tournaments that we've ever had in StarCraft 2, right? Like, he has been an absolute macro machine. Like, he looks tight, he looks very clean, and the execution is pretty much perfect. That's the Hero that wins tournaments. But then sometimes, I don't know, man. It's like he's letting his little brother play. And his little brother is really fond of Void Rays. Admittedly so, Void Rays are pretty cool. A little odd again, though. Void Ray openers, of course, by no means the standard in 2026. Second time we'll see it in this particular series. Okay. Alright. I'm calm again. We're good. Overlord Scout going in pretty deep. Rogue here just making sure that there's nothing weird hiding in the corner of the natural expansion. So far, the adept denying here has been solid, right? Like, Rogue has not really made any weird errors himself, I don't think. I mean, game number 1 was weird to me. Like, playing Mass Zergling just is a bit of an oddball of a build. I just don't think it's ideal. Getting 3 Overlord kills, though, with the Void Ray would be huge. He can't even get 4. Okay, he's not going to be able to kill that one, but there's one hiding on the right side. And then there's this one right over here. I think he's trying to keep one of the 2 Overlords alive by sending in this one straight through the main. There's a good chance that this one will now be skipped. Yeah, Rogue is going to lose this particular Ovi. But will Hero check for the Overlord on the right side of the map? I mean, I guess it's not going to be able to do that much for him. But later on in the match, like say you want to go for a Nidus Worm all-in or something along those lines. Not such a bad idea. Yeah, the Overlord is going to turn around. Overlords do have more vision range. Hero's making the beam thick, trying to see if he can go ahead and kill the hatch. Not going to happen. It's once more, look at this, man. Once more, a macro expansion here for Rogue. So Rogue is walling off. Maybe Hero doesn't really want to, although this one looks fine. Rogue is also building a bit of a wall himself. This is the same build as what he did in game number 1, by the way. Yeah. So this time around, the Evo chamber is later. Meaning that we fire up the lair about maybe 15-20 seconds sooner or so. +1 melee, I'm assuming now. Yeah, very late +1 melee. I'm really not sure what to make of this strategy either. It really does feel like you would be in a world of trouble against like a Zealot all-in, a Glaive Adept push. Like there's many attacks where this would just not work out for Zerg at all. But maybe Rogue, there's a good chance that Rogue has analyzed enough hero games to realize that if he opens up Void Ray into this little Adept harassment with an Oracle on the back of it, it's always going to be Blink Stalker. It could be. I'm not entirely sure. Because against Blink Stalker, Mass Zergling is fine. Against Blink Stalker, you don't really need anything else but Mass Zergling. Now in game number 1, oh my god, he just all army hotkeyed the Oracle straight through the Spore Crawlers and the Queens. A little risky. Yeah, against this, you really don't need anything else. Mass Zergling will do just fine, +1 melee or not. Oracle, Oracle, Oracle. It was like watching one of my cats. Sometimes I feel like my cats are running like a very old Pentium 4 from like... It's like a single core type of... Their processing speed is horrible is what I'm trying to get at. That Oracle right there had a mind of its own. Alright. Void Ray did achieve its goal of killing a single extractor. Almost died in the process. All army hotkey does cause it to die here in the end. Yeah, and this is just no good, man. This is Rogue reading his opponent like a book. And it's a weird book to read. It didn't come with an instruction manual, but it's doing okay here in the end. Banelit Nest coming up. So he's using the proxy hatchery just for queens and larva generation. That's all we're doing. For some reason, one of the queens is not on the control group here. I'm assuming we're going to be going into a Hydra Den. Yeah, Hydra Den here with Hydra upgrades. And then Evolution Chamber with +2 melee. Maybe a second Evo for Carapace. Hydra's really just as like a backbone damage dealer. The majority of the damage here will come out of the Zerglings and then any Banelings that we may see. Templar Archives yet again. Fourth Nexus fires up. In the meantime, though, we already have a 5th hatchery done, and upon seeing the 4th Nexus, apparently that's the trigger for Hero, or for Rogue, rather, to now start playing against 5 bases, right? So he's basically or for him rather, to start droning up the 5th hedge. This is him just trying to build up that eco here to always be a full expansion up. Hero has stopped making workers now at 69, building it up to 72, fair enough, but he's not going to be able to very easily fight this much Zerg. And now the +1 melee is done. Now suddenly those Zerglings are popping off, and you can tell, right? When that upgrade kicks in, it is such a big thing, man. Evo Chamber upgrades in StarCraft 2, they're kind of difficult to explain. But basically, every single one of these Zerglings deals +1 additional damage for every single Evo Chamber melee upgrade that they have. Now, obviously, they're in very large numbers. Obviously, they attack very quickly, so their base damage output is pretty low, meaning that they benefit from these type of upgrades tremendously. It's a little different if you compare it to, like, an Immortal, for example. They don't... Well, I mean, they still benefit from it pretty significant too, but especially units that come out in very large groups and that attack quickly, like Marines, like Zerglings, they benefit from melee upgrades more so than anything else. It's yet again, though, a very fast fleet beacon here for Hero. So Hero has essentially now decided that he is not going to try and really do much damage anymore, but just YOLOing in a large clump of Zealots. This is like 1,000 minerals worth of Zealots we're sending out. Easiest cleanup here of Rogue's life. He's gonna lose quite a bit of supply as well, though, in order to actually clean all of this up. He loses Brenda, too. What about the fight over here on the right side? Okay. This is well managed here by Hero, who I think wants to probably go into a mothership. It's the real thing that... No, we're going Tempest? Tempest? I mean, this is, again, the ideal moment to be playing a mothership. You know, the thing you like to wear as a necklace? We're gonna sprinkle in 1 Tempest at a time. I have no idea what that's supposed to do. Yeah, there she goes. Mama is coming up. Nematized Carapace is also Dundo here for Rogue, who, interestingly enough, after getting +2 melee, decided to go Missile and Carapace. So he has not gone into a Hive. Remember how in the first game he opened up similarly as this? But he decided to go straight into a Hive very quickly. Like, that was done at like 8.5 minutes. Now we're at the 10.5 minute mark, and the Hive hasn't even begun yet. So Rogue is effectively going to just go for a Zerg flood in the mid-game. And yet again... ah! The natural is wide open, man. No. No. I mean, if Mama doesn't spawn, this may as well be GG. Now suddenly there's Lings, Banes, Hydras in every single base. And while it will get cleaned up, 30 probes end up dying. Yeah, this series hurts. This is painful. Like, Rogue is doing a build that really seems kind of funky, and I don't think it should look this strong. If you do something like this against, like, Max Packs or maybe Showtime, I think you're just gonna get demolished. Those guys are gonna destroy you with the most basic attacks. It's effectively pure Ling until, like, 8 minutes of in-game time. Like, that's really not something that's supposed to work. Cloak gets activated here on the Mama ship, but the Nexus is already gone. And now we end up, yeah, with a situation where Hero is on 3 bases. He's got 47 probes. He can make 1 army 1 time, and that's really it. Rogue has got the entire map taken. Now, I guess the one saving grace here for Protoss is that Rogue has not gone into a Hive, and he also hasn't built a Spire. So there's technically always a chance, I guess, for, I mean, a bunch of Corruptors. Okay, yeah, no, for Corruptors would be really important. A bunch of Corruptors to lack here. But I guess Rogue's plan is just to sort of soft contain the Protoss here on 3 bases. Deny a 3rd base, deny a 4th base, right? But really just try to, yeah, keep that Protoss economy small. And in the meantime, obviously, he is mining like an absolute gamer. Look at this. He's getting about 2,000 resources more a minute than Protoss currently does. And at that point, I think you can just make whatever, man. Like, Mass Queen would probably do the trick. Rogue is maxed out. Hero is stuck at 120 supply. Barely scraping by. He has a good army, though, I will say. Like, this army here for Protoss is kind of scary. But I don't think it really does very well here against the army of the Zerg. Zerglings are checking out every possible expansion. Nicely done right here, by the way, by Zerg. No hidden bases available because he's got creep reaching most of the outer expansions. And the ones that he can't reach, he's checking with links. Textbook approach right here from the Zerg, ultimately. Even though the way in which he's getting there is a little bit odd. More Zerglings running to the main base, mostly just as a distraction, but also to do a bit of scouting. He will see that indeed there's continued forge production. Really all he needs to do. Okay. And I think this Morphin is Rogue telling his opponent to get out of the game. We have 35 Banelings added into the mix. We have a bunch of Overseers up in the skies. But I think Rogue is just about ready to send it. He does not really want to keep the opponent in the game and really give him a chance to max out. That maxed out Protoss army will and always is very scary, right? You gotta be careful. But this is actually a reasonable number of Banelings to be blowing up Archons with. Although it looks to me like maybe Hero is thinking about meeting him head on. Zerglings, though, are trying to run into the third. A little bit of hold position control here. Some of the Zerglings will die, but it's only a few hundred minerals. Fair enough. +2/+2 is moments away from finishing up here for Rogue, for the Hydralisks. May as well. Hive starts up right now, +1 air weapons also researching. And I guess he decided to just chill here. Rogue was thinking about being super aggressive with that big Baneling Morphin, but he decides to just not really risk it. Hero! Wakey, wakey. Oh, we're gonna charge at morphing in Banelings? Okay. I mean, it works out. This time. Zergling slip into the face again. Cloak gets activated on the mothership, even though there's like 7 Overseers hugging her. Banelings are hunting it down! What a mess! Yeah, I kind of hate it. I mean, the Protoss army, look, the Protoss units are strong. The Protoss units are powerful. The only bottleneck right now that Rogue really has is larva. He actually has enough larva. Decided not to use them all in one go. Him trading out units like that is obviously not going to be cost efficient, but he doesn't need to be. He gets skyrocket ahead. Look at him trampolining back up to a maxed out state, whereas Hero is slowly suffocating. Here comes the next swarm. Banelings rolling in from the left. There's not even anything to blow up anymore. Hydra's coming in through as well. We do have a little bit of juggling once more in the Warp Prism. Hydra's do end up killing Tempest again. The Mothership is going to be next. And just like that, Rogue wipes the floor with Hero. I mean, I gotta say, Rogue played well, right? Don't get me wrong. Like, Rogue played well. But I really think that Hero played quite poorly.